Hi everybody, you are about to watch a video on confidence, and I am aware that there are some minor makeup issues happening in this video. There's nothing I can do about it. I have more confidence than that to allow it to bother me. So enjoy the video. Make sure you watch the self-love video that goes along very well with the confidence video because it is very important to learn how to love yourself. Me and my brother are chilling over on the family channel. We're at the family house, swimming in the pool, and we're having a ton of fun. So come check us out over there. In the meantime, enjoy the video. Say bye. You say bye.
Bye.
Bye. Hello, all you beautiful, fabulous, wonderful people. Hello, you sexy beast. Yes, I mean you. Welcome back. I am the Sovereign, and this is my court. And hello to everybody over on my Patreon, my coterie, all of my Viscounts, my Viscountess, my Barons, my aristocrats. How are you guys doing? I'll see you over there very soon. Also, hello to everyone who resides within the kingdom. The kingdom is our Discord where we chat about everything: pageants, fashion, the news, spill some tea, wake up in the morning, say hi to everybody. So if you ever want to chat and I'm not here on YouTube, or you just want to see what we're up to, the link is in the description box below. To the kingdom, as well as all of my social media, are in the description box below. If you ever want to come and have a chat with us, if you're having a frustrating day and you just need someone to talk to, we are there for you. We are a very close-knit, happy, fabulous community. Also, if you happen to be detecting a little bit of a difference in my audio, it's because I have been having some audio troubles, and that's why I haven't been uploading as, often as I normally would. So I'm using my new lapel mic today just to see how that works out. And then I have a boom stand coming. So I'm trying to keep the quality good for you guys. So this is a new mic, just in case, anybody picks it up. I'm becoming an audio expert now. I swear, people say YouTube skills have no transferable qualities. They're lying. I can set up a whole stage at this point. I mean, I was able to do that before because of theater, but whatever. Today we are here to talk about confidence. Yes, and the reason I'm starting to do some of these videos is because some of you have sent me messages in my DMs and my Twitter and my email, and you've talked about, seeing me on camera and seeing my confidence, and a lot of you struggle with your own insecurities and how to reach that level of confidence yourself. And though I'm happy, of course, I'm happy to have your messages and see your comments and everything, it makes me kind of sad to see that people struggle so much with this. It makes me kind of sad to see that you guys don't wake up feeling as wonderful and fabulous as you should and you are. So I'm here to maybe help as much as I possibly can to be your internet girlfriend. Hey girl, hey boys, what's up? I'm your internet girlfriend. I'm here to hype you. I'm here to show you the path and hold your hand. We're gonna do this together. So let's get into confidence. Confidence is loving yourself unconditionally, accepting and embracing everything that makes you weird, different, or abnormal, acknowledging the fact that these things are not flaws, but they are unique identifying features that make you as an individual special. It comes from you feeling and loving yourself so much that it results in the inability of others to impact the way you feel, behave, or how you see yourself. Now, I'm issuing a warning here. True self-confidence is a superpower. I'm letting you know right now, as you develop these strengths and as you develop your sense of self and feel better about yourself, you become incredibly strong and almost invincible to strangers. So with great power comes great responsibility, and I'm letting you know before we even start this journey together. We'll discuss it later on in the video. Just forewarning yourself, be prepared. Now, a lot of my pageant girlies and boys out there, you guys know some of these lessons, especially some of the pageant competitors. You guys know some of these. Maybe a little bit of the video will help you, though. I'm going to do my best to help everybody. And if you are already at the peak and pinnacle of your self-confidence, congratulations, you fabulous beast. Consider hyping up some of the people in the comments section below, helping them out. We are all very loving and friendly and supportive here on this channel. So the first thing my pageant people know very well, it is being unapologetically yourself. That is actually the tagline for Miss Universe, and something that I absolutely adore. You guys see me on my channel being unapologetically myself constantly, no matter if I'm being weird, wacky, or even a little bit feisty. You guys see me being myself no matter what, and it's because I love myself, including my supposed flaws, weirdness, and wackiness. So how do we be unapologetically yourself? Well, I have a little, I'm not even gonna lie, I didn't make a list because I don't want to forget anything for you guys. So The first part of really building self-confidence is doing the internal work and really getting to know yourself, which I know that sounds very self-helpish. Okay, I know. And it used to drive me nuts when I was like a teenager. Like, what does that even mean, getting to know yourself? I finally figured it out. I'm going to try to like make it not so ridiculous so that you know the steps to take, because a lot of people don't really know themselves as well as they think. They think, oh, I know myself. I like to eat Fruit Loops and chocolate and my name is this. Let's get into this. So learning who you are is the first part of being unapologetically yourself. You can't be yourself if you don't know who you are. So learning who you are would involve learning your personal style, right? So if you guys watch my channel, you can tell that there's certain styles that I love. Even today, I think it's very obvious that I love vintage. I love and adore all things vintage, and I wear like lace gloves and all that. Get to know your personal style in depth. Your personal style is not just your clothing or how you like to do your hair. It's an overall aesthetic. So a lot of the vintage love that I have, you see translated into my everyday life. My purse is like a vintage clock. Like it's something that you develop over time, and it's really fun to do. So I think I'm gonna do a video on how to develop your personal style so we can like get into fashion and whatnot. But think about your personal aesthetic. The next thing you want to do as you're getting to really know yourself is think about your motivations. Think about the things that really speak to you, drive you, bring you incredible happiness, ignite your passions and fire. What are those things that really trigger something within yourself? So I'm going to use myself as an example throughout this video because that's kind of the only person I have. But the things that really speak to me, I love history. I study history for the fun of it, right? Another thing is books. I love books. I've written books. I adore books. I devour them like I devour cake, even though I stopped doing the cake. It's not healthy, but devouring books, I still do. What are the things that really ignite something in you? It can be anything. It can be gardening. It could be a particular sport. It could be art. Find those things that drive you. What are your moral lines and your own personal code of ethics? All these things are going to vary depending on who you are as a person. I can kind of provide a path for you, but you're all individually going to be very special and unique, which is great. But find those things. What are your moral lines and your code of ethics? Meaning, what are those things that you feel very strongly about and feel like that's a line that you would put your foot down on? So, example, most people on this channel know I detest bullying, not teasing, not simple jokes or petty shade, not those things, but relentless, consistent, hurtful bullying of someone who is lesser than or more vulnerable than someone else drives me insane. That is something that triggers me in the worst way. And that's something that I will put my foot down on, regardless of if it's here on YouTube, which I have done several times, or out in the real world, which I have done several times. You really have to get to know yourself and learn your own boundaries. Some of us are going to be a little bit more conservative. Some of us are going to be a little bit more liberal. Whatever it is, learn what it is that you morally and ethically think is wrong, so that in the future, once you build up your confidence and you get to the point where you're checking yourself, you know and can identify those times where it's time to use that confidence and really put that foot down. It also helps you identify those times where you need to tell people no. Being who you are and knowing who you are and standing in who you are is going to put you in the position to stand against people who want to change you. And you have to know your own moral lines. You have to know your own code of ethics so that you know when it's time to tell even someone that you like, a friend, a family member, you have to know when it's time to say no. Let's get a little interactive now. Let's get a little interactive, okay? Everybody grab a sheet of paper, or whip out your notepad in your phone, because we're not going to go grab a sheet of paper. We know this. Or just do it in your head. But, and this is going to be a struggle, but be honest, okay? You have to be honest about this. Identify your flaws. I can identify your flaws. Make a list of everything that bothers you about yourself, or that you think or perceive to be a problem within your physical stature, within your personality, within yourself. Find out and be completely honest about what your flaws are. Once again, I'm going to reiterate the importance of this, because if you are not completely honest with yourself about the things that you consider to be wrong with yourself or that bother you about yourself, or things that maybe others point out that maybe you think you need to change. If you're not honest with that, then you're never going to come to terms with who you are as a person, and therefore develop really good, strong self-confidence. So part of developing self-confidence and a good sense of self is accepting who you are, including both the good and the bad. Now, after you have your list of flaws, I know it kind of hurt, okay, but let's be honest, and nobody really knows except for you, so it's okay. But now that you have your list, identify the things that you cannot change and just come to terms with that. And that's something that I've had to do, and it's likely something that most people are going to have to do. I can give you obviously examples from my life as a Black woman, younger, in elementary school and whatnot. It for a while bugged me to just be Black, because my non-Black friends would bring it up and kind of poke fun at me or make comments, and that hurt me. But that's not something that I can change. I cannot change my skin color. I could change my features, but I love my features, right? Identify the things you can't change and come to terms with it. If you can't change it, what is the purpose of you dragging it on your entire life and feeling bad about it? Embrace it, love it. It's likely something that just makes you special. It doesn't matter if it's a scar, if it's a birthmark. I know some people have like vitiligo and whatnot. Embrace it. Do not let that bug you. And trust me, we're going to get more into it. I know this sounds a bit scary, and the journey to self-confidence is a road. It's a journey you have to take. So it's not something that's going to happen in an instant, and it's going to be something that you have to work on. So I'm not making light of the situation. I know it's not easy to overcome some of these things, but like I said, embrace the things you cannot change. There is absolutely no use in you demoralizing yourself over something that's going to be there. The next thing you want to do is identify the things on your list that you don't necessarily have a problem with, but other people had a problem with, okay? A lot of these things tend to be physical, like your size, your nose, your personal style. These are the things that you don't necessarily have a problem with, but other people constantly pick on you about. So going back to my, elementary school story earlier, I never really had a problem being Black. I had a problem with not getting to have friends because I was Black, or being made fun of because I was Black. That's the only reason that really made me uncomfortable. But I myself had no problem with my skin tone. So you'll realize as you really think about these things, regardless of what they may be, sometimes people talk about other people's nose. If you never had a problem with your nose, and it's just other people having something to say about it, knock that off the list. It doesn't qualify, that can go too. I know there's some things that are still left on your list. We will address them, okay? Those are the important ones that we need to address. We'll get to that later in the video. Let's continue. So now that you've started to do a lot of the internal work, getting to know yourself, your style, your morals, what drives you, the things that ignite your passions, right? That's all internal things. Let's get to the external things and start gaining our voice, right? So here's another interactive. You can get an actual piece of paper. It likely will help you, or you can do it in your head. But make a list of the people whose opinions and thoughts matter to you. The people whom you listen to and care what they think, put them on a list. Now, don't go overboard, because if you got like 10, 20 people, I'm telling you, you don't need to care about that many people's opinions, okay? My list consists of like my mom and my grandma. That's about it. The people that I allow to interject and intervene and kind of input in the direction and how I live my life, all of that includes like 2 people, all right? So don't go overboard, because all those people are not that important. Do you have your list? Did you make your list? Okay, because we're at like my favorite part of developing self-confidence. This step right here is what changes life for you. Are you ready for this? It's like the best thing in the world. I love it. Now that you've made your list of people, the other 6 billion people in the world, dismantle the idea that these strangers' opinions matter. Dismantle the idea in your head, the programming that you have had since birth, that says you have to care what strangers think or say. I know. Okay, just chill out for a second. Some of you, I like feel your collective heartbeats freaking out. Just chill with me, okay? Relax. What rule book says that you have to care what the Karen down the street has to say about what you're wearing? Why do you care about what the strangers on the street think of you? Why do you care? Those of you who are in school, why do you care what your peers have to say? Why? What rule book says that you have to acknowledge or care what they have to say about how you look, how you dress, or how you choose to live your life? I'm just waiting. Give me an explanation for that says why you have to care. Why do those people get to have a say in how you live your life? Your answer, they don't. They don't. And sometimes it just takes someone telling you these people don't matter. Let me explain it to you this way. You are a monarch. In your world, you have final say of everything. How you want to live, how you want to do things. You rule your own kingdom of one person. And yeah, it's small, but it's still your kingdom. You're a monarch. Congratulations. It's time to start ruling. Now, you have a list of advisors. Every monarch has advisors. Even I have advisors, okay? So you have your list of advisors, and it probably includes maybe some of your parents, maybe a spouse, maybe a close sibling, friend. You have your small list of people whom advise you how to rule your kingdom. But everybody outside of that, you don't listen to what subjects have to say. They don't matter. You have final say on everything. Now, let's not like blow our brains up, right? We're not going to do that. There are such things as like temporary advisors. So like me, I right now am operating as a sort of temporary advisor. Thank you for allowing me into your kingdom so that I may serve as a temporary advisor in this one instance. But just because you are here watching this video right now does not give me any license to have any say on how you live your life or like what you name your kids. Like, could you imagine? You have only given me your permission to help advise you in this one instance, but it does not give me license or authority to take control of your life. So I appreciate you selecting me as a monarch to be an advisor temporarily. Thank you. I really do appreciate it. You will have other temporary advisors in your life, like your car mechanic, right? You're not gonna veto what your car mechanic says you need to do to take care of your car. That's a temporary advisor, but he does not get to have license or say in how you live your life, how you dress, what you wear, your personal style. Same thing with like a teacher or even a pastor. The amount of influence another person has in your life is completely and wholly up to you alone. Now, this is going to be difficult for some of you. Now that you're really starting to open your eyes and get to learn yourself and know yourself and accept yourself and be more yourself, the people that you have on your advisors list may not be good allies right now at the moment. For one, the people on your list are used to you behaving and being a certain way and being a certain person, right? Even though it may not necessarily be the true you, they don't know that. They may never have seen the true you. So if you suddenly begin to change and morph into someone else or a stronger being, it might cause a little bit of alarm to the people that you have on your advisors list, like your mother or even a spouse. And I've seen it happen even in like a fitness capacity. People become more fit or they start to go through these dynamic changes that makes them feel better about themselves, but it begins to intimidate their spouse or their spouse doesn't want that for them. So I understand how some of you may not even have allies right now, or the people that you think are allies may stand against you as you go through these changes. You have to be prepared for that and kind of walk them through the process for you, because some people, most people are not going to understand that what's happening is you becoming more yourself. They're going to think something's wrong with you. They're going to think you're going through some sort of phase, or maybe you're depressed. They're not going to understand. And I've had this happen to myself. When I got over the whole insecurity thing or lack of confidence my freshman year of high school. That's when that ended. But when I started going through my changes to becoming who I am today, my mother was not 100% on board. And those of you who have seen my mother here on the channel, you know that she's super chill and she's cool. But my mom had never seen the true me. She didn't know who I was. Only I know who I was. So as I was going through those changes, my mom was just on high alert. She's like, what's happening to my daughter? And she's keeping like tabs on me and she's thinking I'm being like reckless or doing ridiculous things. My mom wasn't there, but I had to like work with her and show her like, no, mom, this is how I am. This is who I am. As she began to learn and realize that her daughter really is this happy, wacky weirdo that loves fashion and vintage things, once she realized that, she was okay with it. But before, as I was going through the transition and going through the phase of becoming who I was, I didn't really have all that much support either. Like you guys, it was hard. I was staying out till 2 o'clock in the morning. And like most moms, my mom probably thought I had a secret boyfriend. She thought I was out hanging with my friends, partying, drinking, and all of that. It turns out that I was at school until 2 o'clock in the morning doing volunteer work for like a matinee that we had to do for theater, or some volunteers activities to help raise money for schools. Like, that's what I was doing, but obviously my mom didn't know that. So that's a process that I had to go through. So sometimes it's just a matter of your advisors and your allies to come to terms with who you are as a person. And once they understand that, they'll be on board. Now, there will be some people who never get on board with you. And I see this happen a lot when it comes to LGBTQ people. You guys, especially like trans people, you guys go through a massive transformation and it's already very difficult. And then you have people that you love and you thought were allies that don't want to accept you. And the same thing with like husbands and wives. You go through this huge change and your spouse isn't on board. And for those of you, I understand how difficult that may be to really lose someone that you love or to have that disconnect with them. But if it ever comes down to it, try to be patient with them and let them know, I love you. And I need you to love me for who I am, as I am, and to support me. Let them know that you need them. Try not to be combative with them. Try to help them to understand and give them time to come to terms with that. But another disclaimer here, you have to be prepared to let go of toxic people. And it's tough, but sometimes that person can be a parent. And like I said before, I've had that experience through my LGBTQ friends. They had very conservative parents who weren't willing to accept them. You cannot force yourself to live a lie or live in a box. It will destroy you. It will constrain you and restrict you. And you will never be truly happy if you live that way. And yes, letting go of someone is very difficult. And sometimes you can't let go of that person, like if it's your parent, but you may need to distance yourself from that. And same thing with spouses, which I really hope no one has to go through this, because even considering this is tough. But the people that you love should be able to love you for who you are. And if they can't, they don't deserve space on your list of advisors or in your life. And keeping a toxic person around never helped anyone. Ladies, I'm looking at you. Those of you you have toxic boyfriends, but you want to keep them around for God knows what reason. Yes, I'm talking to you, sis. If you needed your online girlfriend to let you know, dump him and find a man or find a woman. Those of you men who have like ridiculous girlfriends who do the most worst things to you, find someone who loves you for you. Please do. Find someone who adores every little bit about you, no matter what. Life is so much better that way. This is half the reason I have a YouTube channel and I'm myself on my YouTube channel, because it's great for people to like me for who I am, my wacky weirdness, my extroverted extraness, all that. So yes, pulling off this portion of things can be very difficult and very heart-wrenching, but it's something that is necessary and will help you later on in life. And this really harkens back to all the work we did previously here in this video. Remember when you sorted out what your morals and your personal code of ethics is? So now that you have your voice and now that you're really starting to be self-confident and know who you are, know that anything that goes against your morals or who you are as a person, you have the power and ability to say no. That is your right. You say no, regardless of who's telling you to change, or who's telling you not to do something, or who's trying to constrain you from being who you are or living life the way you want to live. You tell them no. And if it's a family member, if it's a friend, if it's someone who cares about you, you let them know that if they truly loved you, they would not put you in a position to do something that goes against your own personal morals or who you are as a person. I myself have done those things. Even here on YouTube, I have done it. Everyone knows I love the pageant queens, right? I talk about them all the time. But though it hurts me to come out against a pageant girl, I've done it. I have done it twice, actually. I've done it twice. And it's because the things that these people did were so outside of the realm of not only what pageants represent, but of who I am as a person. I chose to fight those battles because it was so against what I stood for. And yeah, at the time it may not have been popular, but I still did it. So you now have the voice and ability, and you know where your own personal boundaries are. So you now have that voice to put your foot down and say no, no matter who it is. Now we're getting towards the end, okay? We've dealt with some of the heavy stuff, some of the scary stuff. The ending is a little bit more fun, right? Now you get to transform, whatever that means to you, whether it be you implementing your personal style and aesthetic into your everyday life, do it. Now remember the things when we made a list of our flaws and we crossed a whole bunch of those things off the list because they didn't matter. But you may still have some things that are left on your list that you legitimately see as issues within yourself. This is the time where you decide to try to change these things, whatever it may be. So like example for me, before I was a fitness competitor, I always had issues with the way that my body was shaped. I really didn't like it. And though I'm just like, I'm great as is, I really wanted to upgrade myself, right? It's kind of like a pimp my ride. I'm great as is. All right, let's as a confident person, let's all say we can love ourselves no matter what we look like or am going through at that time. But it's nice to add some customizations to pimp my ride, to exude a little bit more of my personality and self onto the way that I look. So I bettered my health, and to me, in my mind, I bettered my body and I became what I always wanted. Some of you have like personality flaws on your list. This would be the time to really pay attention to those and to actively try to change the things that you see as problems within yourself. Like when I was younger, I was a lot less empathetic and had less patience for people, but I feel like that's something that everybody had when they were young. But I am very careful, even though I'm a confident person, to be more empathetic to the people that are around me and to how other people feel. This is the time where you really transform yourself into being who you want to be and how you want the world to see you. It's really fun. Have fun with it. Are you feeling good? Are you feeling excited? Are you getting to learn yourself, discover yourself, know yourself? Hold on, because I know that I'm like amping up some of your, I got this mic, okay, doing crazy things. I know I'm amping up some of you, filling your head with all of these wonders, and you're feeling great about yourself and you're just loving it. And you're like, yes, I am the monarch. I am the queen of my world. You are. Everything that happens in your life is 100% up to you and you alone. However, let's not let our heads get super big, right? We need to tame ourselves and know where the boundaries are. Though you are a monarch in your own world and in your own life, and you can rule as such, that does not give you license to impact other people's lives negatively. So if you're at the supermarket and you're feeling yourself one day and you decide to steal someone else's parking spot, you stole another monarch's parking spot. You don't get to do that just because you're feeling yourself. That is not nice. That is not kind. And you have now impacted another person's life negatively. And whatever happens about that to you, like, that's on you. Don't let your head get so big that you are negatively impacting other people's lives. The way you live your life in your world, 100% up to you. But the moment you start affecting other people's lives, it's a problem, and you need to make sure that you are careful about doing those things. And as you get to feel yourself and you're feeling good and you don't know, like you start losing sight of if you're doing something right or if you're going too far, this is where you have your list of advisors. So even when I make a video here on YouTube, if I feel like it's iffy or if the subject is a little bit controversial, I'll run it by my mom. I will run it by my grandma. And I will get their opinions before I decide to implement it myself, because I want to make sure that I'm not being too extra. I want to make sure I'm not being too ambitious. I want to make sure I'm not being too much. So I will run it by other people just to check and be sure that I'm not letting myself get so out of line, right? And understand, as a confident person, as you are becoming a more confident person, right? I see you there becoming more confident. Get it, girl. Get it, boy. I see you all. As you're becoming more confident, be empathetic to the people that are around you, because they will be able to sense and feel your power. And this used to drive me nuts in high school, okay? Because as these new superpowers happened, people started to treat me different. And I started to get that comment that I was intimidating. And even though I personally had never done anything to intimidate anyone, I now, as more of an adult, understand that intimidating feeling that people get from me is my confidence, because I'm, totally confident, and I will be so happy and like be outspoken and be like the way that I am. People sense that power, and it almost creates a sense of fear, as if they can't approach you, or they're too afraid to approach you. They're too afraid to tell you what they think. I get it from men who are like, I wanted to talk to you, but I didn't know if I could. it's like an aura that develops around you, and you have to be mindful of that as you become more confident. Even here on my channel, I have gotten comments where people are just like, oh my God, you are so egotistical, you are so self-aggrandizing, you are so arrogant. And those things come from you feeling like you're better than someone else. But because of my confidence and because of my happiness, people automatically will label me saying that I'm better than other people, even though I never said so myself. But just the sheer aura of confidence will intimidate the people around you. So it's kind of annoying, but you have to go out of your way to let people know, like, no, I just feel good about myself, because having true self-confidence is not a common thing. It is not. And this is why pageant girls have such a negative stereotype about them, because they are all confident and they all feel so wonderfully about themselves. There's this stereotype that they're all just arrogant people who are stupid and ditzy, when that couldn't be farther from the truth. But these stereotypes, now that you're pursuing confidence, expect them to come to you just because people are so intimidated by your own confidence and self-worth. And now you know, through sitting through this video here with me, that confidence is nothing but how you feel about yourself, and really has nothing to do with the outside world, which is why I thoroughly encourage you all to join me in self-confidence and to be fabulous with me. It's not something that I wanted to keep to myself, or even that I want to do alone. And I may have to do a video on insecurities, but just to note, when you see someone who brings out your own insecurities, like when you see a beautiful woman walk in the room and she's feeling herself and she's just having a good day, a lot of people look at her and they start putting that girl down. That girl may have said absolutely nothing to anyone, but people are already having negative reactions just because she's beautiful and she feels good about herself. Those are insecurities that are being portrayed onto someone else, right? So like when someone tells me that, oh, you shouldn't be posting bikini pictures online, or you should be so embarrassed by this picture. Number one, says who? Who said I have to be embarrassed? Like, remember the rule book? No one says I have to care about what you have to say. But most of the time when someone's saying that to you, it's because they themselves would feel embarrassed if they took that picture or if they wore that clothing. It's not necessarily that they're angry or upset at you. You're doing something that they themselves wouldn't be brave enough to do. So they're projecting that on you and saying you shouldn't be brave enough to do it either. You have to be able to identify those things and kind of sympathize with those people, because most of the time arguing with them is not even worth it. But you have to understand that because you know better, they don't really understand that they're projecting, and you kind of have to leave those situations alone. So now that you've reached the end of the video, congratulations. I'm hoping you feel a little bit more empowered. I hope you feel like this is a journey you're ready to take, and you're ready to get to learn about yourself more, and learn about your style, and learn about your morals, and learn about what drives you and makes you happy. Learn about yourself and be willing to stand up for yourself and be who you are unapologetically. I'm proud of you. I am proud of you. Congratulations. Just want to be sure that some of you know that throughout these changes, you may lose some people, you may lose some friends, you may lose some of that, but you are the most important person in your life, and make sure you remember that and take care of yourself. Not to say that obviously other people are not important, but when it comes to you and your life and the way you live and what you want to do while you are alive here on this earth, that is your life. All of you are going to be different. Some of you are going to be very different from me. We're going to have different beliefs, morals, ideas. That's fine. Number one, you're still welcome here. Of course you are, unless you are racist. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. If you just decide through all of this that you're a racist person, you can excuse yourself. But other than that, everybody's welcome, okay? Be who you are, and I will love you regardless of who you decide to be, okay? In the comments section below, let me know the changes that you are going to implement with yourself and with your life. What are the things that are maybe scaring you about this journey? Do you need someone to help you, to uplift you? Everybody, help each other in the comments, all right? Find those people that need ideas and need help. Help them. Join the kingdom. The link is in the Discord. The link to the kingdom is in the description box below. If you want someone to talk to late at night, in the morning, if you're not feeling so good about yourself, you need help, you need ideas, whatever it may be, we're here. Thank you for watching this video. Make sure you give the video a thumbs up. And if you are not a member of my court, please consider hitting the subscribe button. I would love to see your fabulous face again. I really would. Okay? Thank you for being here with me. I love you and I'll miss you, but you know I will be back in a future video. Bye!